Hey everybody out there, this is Seto, and today for you guys we are going to be talking about the May 2018 ban list that's going to be taking effect May 21st of this year. So next week it's going to be taking effect right for the WCQ season. So in this video what we're going to be doing is talking about my reactions, my thoughts on the card, and then we're going to go into talking a little bit about the meta. How do I feel like it's going to shape up? How is it going to change? And things of that nature. I do apologize if I forget certain cards' names. We'll have some pronunciation problems. It is about 12 o'clock in the morning, 12:30. I just got off work, got home, wanted to make the video, saw the ban list early today, so my brain is fried from a Monday, so my apologies. But let's get to today's video. So for banned cards, we have Astrograph Sorcerer, Masterpiece the True Draco King, Phoenixian Cluster Amaryllis, Supreme King Dragon Starving Venom, Ancient Fairy Dragon, Rank Up Argent Chaos Force, That Grass Looks Greener. For limited, we have Dynamite Knight the True Draco Fighter, Gem Knight Master Diamond, Chain Strike, I can never pronounce this properly, just so you know, Apocryphort Towers, Ring of Destruction, and for unlimited we have Atlantean Dragoons, Grand Soil with its errata, I believe, that's once per turn, I think now. Ignis Heat, the True Draco Warrior, went from 1 to unlimited, nice. Mathematician, unlimited finally. Neospatian Grand Mole, unlimited finally. And Compulsory Evacuation Device, thank you Konami, finally. So let's go over these cards one by one. Astrograph Sorcerer. I just wanted the FTK slash OTK taken care of in this deck. Like, they hit Starving Venom. That's what I was concerned about. Like, either that or Lunar Light Lucinia or something. But they decided to just take an axe and go chop and kill the deck completely. Is it completely unplayable? No. Is it harder to play than it was? Yes. Could I easily see Astrograph Sorcerer coming back to 1 of or 2 of in a couple of years? Yes. I could see it in maybe 2-3 years, this card coming back to 1 of or 2 of eventually. Give it some time. Masterpiece, the True Draco an Ancient Fairy Dragon got banned. We'll talk about that in a second. Masterpiece, the True Draco King. They didn't hit Diagram, and they didn't hit Terraforming. The fact they didn't hit Diagram means that that deck profile I uploaded with the True Dracos with Yubel and using Diagram to pop the Yubel to go off, that deck is still viable. You just can't go into True King, the True King card. So that sucks. I love the deck. I've loved the True King deck, playing it, doing a whole bunch of nothing shenanigans, using a bunch of random continuous spells and traps. I'm happy about that. Of all the cards they hit, not being Diagram, I am happy because Diagram I can use in other decks to do different things. The deck is viable. I think people are going to say this deck is dead. I don't think it's dead. I think it's still playable to some degree. Is it less powerful? Yes. Is it still playable? Yes. So True Dracos, I think we'll talk about in the next segment of this video, is still a playable option in the meta to some degree. Phoenixian Cluster Amaryllis. This makes me wonder if we're going to be getting one of those link monsters. I think it's the plant one or needle fiber, something like that maybe, because they're hitting cards that scream this will be used with needle fiber, or this will be used with this plant's link monster that's supposed to come out. I forget what it is. I think it's like an Arrow Mage card, but yeah. I got a feeling that's going to be a 10 promo. Needle Fiber is going to be a 10 promo. I got a feeling, just like Norden was, because I'm having deja vu from Norden where people said, "Oh, Norden would be a prize card," and then it was a 10 promo. Needle Fiber is going to be a prize card. It's going to be in this set. I wonder if it's going to be a 10 promo. Love to hear your thoughts on that. So Supreme King Starving Venom, they hit that Lilac Lucinia OTK slash FTK shit that was going on there. So that's gone. That's bye-bye, it seems like, for the most part, as far as I know. They took care of a lot of weird things like that were happening in the game. It looks like they dealt with that, be it Grand Soil, errata coming back, things of that nature. They dealt with a lot of problematic cards and hit cards that needed to be hit. Rank up Argent Chaos Force. Now this one I'm scratching my head about still. I'm back here going, huh? What? I was actually just thinking about this card today with some things I could use it with. And the only thing that comes to mind is what? Utopic Zexal? What was it used for besides that? I mean, I haven't seen it being played a lot. I've seen it being played in Utopic Zexal decks. I remember playing it in Gimmick Puppets back in the day, and just for fun, I still play it in. I was playing it in there as a 1 or 2 of. Now I'm kind of going, I'm confused. Now, this is a card that I could easily see come back to 3 of a year from now after everybody's just forgotten about it. Because this just seems weird to me. I know there's a deck out there that was using it. I think it was Utopic Zexal decks, but was there some other reason? I'm really confused about that one. And the grass is greener. They banned it. In the OCG, this card is at 3 of. In the TCG, it's a goose egg. It's at 0 now. Why? People love playing 60-card decks. People were still able to play them even when you limited the card to 1 of. Now you just outright banned it. Really, Konami? Really? I mean, I like playing it in Light Swarms. I wasn't a big fan of 60-card deck, but like, I know a lot of my friends that played those loved it, and I had no problem with it. And I just don't get this. I don't think that was a necessary thing to do, honestly. I think you could just left it at 1 of and nobody was going to complain. I could see it coming back to 1 of maybe one day, but that's what I mean. Like some of these hits, I'm kind of like scratching my head about. Now limited we had Dynamite Knight, the True Draco Fighter. That's nice. Gemini Master Diamond. That's what I mean. They were hitting just about every OTK out there. It seems like, okay, we're going to hit the Pendulum one. That was the main one. Okay, now we're going to hit the freaking Gem Knight one. Like, I haven't seen the Gem Knight FTK/OTK in a hot minute. Now, I did profile when, the new Gem Knight card came out back in January. The OTK being performed. My friend did well down in Atlanta. Pee-wee Alex did well down in Atlanta with the deck. The deck was good, but it wasn't super consistent from what I've heard and I've seen being played. It would be good sometimes if you didn't have the hand trap to stop it, or you didn't know how to stop it. You were up the creek without a paddle. But if you knew how to stop it, you were good. So this thing makes me go, huh? Like, really? Really? Huh? Oh, okay, Konami. And Chain Strike to 2 of? Who was playing Chain Burn? Who was playing Chain Burn? Who? I'm not exaggerating here. Like, I'm kind of like scratching my head. Like, Chain Strike has been at 2 of forever. And Chain Burn's been a deck for gosh knows how long. And you hit Chain Strike randomly to 2? Okay. I don't get that. That's just as weird as when they hit like, I mean, that I understood. When they hit like Final Countdown and Self-Destruct button. I kind of understood that. But Chain Strike? Okay, Konami. And semi-limited, Apocryphal Towers. Just put that to 3 of. We got bloody kaijus. Like, just get away. There's a lot more outs to that card than it used to be when it was a problem. When it was a problem, you had Diamond Crab King, and that was all to get around towers at one point in time. There was a few cards that could get around towers. Now we have Utopia the Lightning, kaijus, and half a dozen other things I can name off the top of my head. So it's a lot easier to get around than it was 2-3 years ago. Ring of Destruction to 2 of. Okay, that's the errata. Nobody plays it. Just bring it back to 3 of. Like, come on, hurry up. Unlimited, Atlantean Dragoons. Nobody thought that was going to come back to 3 of over here in the TCG. Nobody thought about it. Well, Konami decided, hey, let's make Mermails good again. I'm happy about this. I'm really, because I love Mermails, and I plan to do a deck profile now, because Atlantean Dragoons is back at 3, and I really want to play the deck with the Sucker of Light, so yay! I'm happy about that. Grand Soil, with the errata, back to 3 of. I bet the secrets are up in price, but remember this thing is going to get reprinted as a super in the special edition, so just wait if you want to play your elemental lore dot decks. Ignis Heat, cool, you hit that. You play around with which ones you don't want, which ones you don't. Okay, cool. I'm okay with that. Mathematician, alright. The 3 of them, I'm kind of happy about that. Mathematician's always been a good dump card. You either run that or Armageddon Knight. So he's still a good card. Mathematician's still decent to some degree. Neospatian Grammel. This is to probably push the new Neospatian support. I'm not building that deck, by the way, but okay. Grammel to 3. I've always wondered, like, some people are like, oh, it should stay at 1. It's this broken card. And granted, there was a time that Grammel was a really, really, really good card. The Grammel lock was a thing to be feared. And it still kind of can be a thing. But in 2018, not anymore. And lastly, compulsive evacuation device 2-3 of. This, I think, could be played. Evac was a card that was played in the Synchro era. Tongue-tied. To get around problematic Synchro monsters. It wasn't till the Zale era when we had Dragon Rulers that everybody just started playing compulsive evacuation device because of things like Big Eye, Dragosac, these big level 7s that were hard to get around. You just go compulse, bounce it back. It was literally the saving grace of 2013 Dragon Ruler format. It was the Jesus of our salvation if you played in that format. Believe me, I remember I was playing competitively and it sucked. But beside the point there, it's a good card. People don't play TT unless you're playing BA, it seems like. But TT being back at 3, Bottomless being back at 3, Compulse being back at 3, warnings, traps, and everything being back at 3 of to some degree. Cool, good. Stun-based decks are coming back, I think, to some degree, which Compulse is a good card. I think Torrential Tribute and Compulsive Evacuation Device, besides the Solemn Warning Brigade, are some of the best generic traps in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Compulse can easily see play because link monsters are a thing, and if you bounce back, a good, well-timed compulsive evacuation device can disrupt your opponent's turn. And the last card I forget to mention we're going to talk about is Ancient Fairy Dragon getting forbidden. I mean, it's banned in the OCG, I got it. I'm indifferent to it. People are going to say, well, Crystal Wing going for Blue Eyes. Yeah, that kind of sucks. Not being able to go for a Crystal Wing as easy nowadays in Blue Eyes White Dragon decks, but still, I kind of sit here going, like, all right, Konami, hit Ancient Fairy Dragon. Why don't you? You still can use Destrudo to go into other good cards, but. And who knows what other cards could come out in the future. Ooh, my eye. Who knows what other good cards could come out in the future. So let's talk about the meta now. Let's shift to talking about the meta. What is the meta going to be like? What's this May, heading into national seasons, what is it going to be like? I think Pendulums, to some extent, will still be viable to some degree. They did not hit the Worm card that searches out the gates, which is a good engine to still be played in a whole bunch of different Pendulum decks. That engine will still be viable to some degree. Am I saying Pendulum is going to be the best deck? Probably not. They're going to be knocked down a peg probably to tier 2 because of Astrograph really brought the deck up to very competitive play. But the deck will still be playable to some extent. It's not completely dead. It's still playable, just not as good as it was before. The True Draco engine, I think, is going to be the sleeper. People think Masterpiece was, you know, I mean, it was the best thing in the deck. But Diagram is still around at 3. You have other cards to play around with. It won't be as competitive. It may not be tier 1. It may be tier 2, but it's still playable. I think some of the best decks that come out of this smelling like a bunch of roses is Trickstars. Trickstars didn't get hit at all. Reincarnation is still at 3. Everything is still at 3. I would be very surprised if Trickstars did not win a Nationals or do very, very well at Nationals in different World Tournament settings this coming YCS season. Brandish is another one that comes to mind. And I'm sitting here going Brandish because that archetype and Brandish is really hard to nail down. I've heard different things from it, and from playing it, I've heard different things as well. I will say I love the deck. personally, artistically, playability, the way it plays, I love the deck a lot. Do I think it's the best deck? Maybe now it is, but I'm not going to count my chickens before they hatch. Because if I look at the OCG, it's only taking up a quarter of tops. Now granted, our OCG list compared to this list and the way everything's been playing out is a lot different. But I think Brandish could be definitely one of the top 3 decks of the format. Some people have argued, is it better than Zoo? Is it worse than Zoo? It's a splashable engine, more or less, that is really good. Is it the best engine ever? I don't know. I don't think that's true. But it's a good engine, which with the proper situation, the proper format, can be dominant. And I think it could be set up right now to be one of the best decks of the format because of the current situation. I'll put it that way. I think Invoke is going to be another good deck that's going to be around to some degree. Different Invoke builds, different things of that nature would definitely be good. I think Dinos could still see some play. They could maybe make some comebacks with the meta being knocked down a peg, all the top decks being kind of knocked down besides Trickstars. I think you may see some more Infernoid decks popping up with the new Layer of Darkness. So expect people that gravitated to the 60-card decks to maybe go to Infernoid Layer of Darkness decks, or just those decks having more of a coming out party to some degree. And the reason I say this is because a lot of these top-tier decks that were topping a lot lately got knocked down a peg, and everything else can rise up. Now, also the Troy Mares, as they're known over here in the TCG, you're going to see those splash in a whole bunch of different decks going forward into the new format. That's a given. It's one of the best engines out there, some of the best link monsters out there currently, and I wouldn't be a bit surprised to see Troy Mare decks with some other engine pushed into it being some of the top decks of the current format heading into the summer season and the summer nationals. Those are the decks I'm trying to think off the top of my head. I think Mermail, though I don't think it's going to be the top deck of the format, I think it's a good rogue choice to play if you wanted to, just for fun, because Dragoons is at 3, Prince is at 3. It's a dang good deck right now. Is it the top of the meta? No. But is it still really, really good? Yeah. At a local level and regional level, you probably could possibly top with Mermail if you piloted it correctly. So, saying that, there's a lot of a format that was already very, I mean, it was very diverse, but we just had the FTK problem. It's been taken care of from what I can see, unless there's something I'm glaringly missing, and if I am, I apologize. But it seems to be taken care of for the most part, and we're heading to a format that was already diverse, being more diverse going into national season. We kind of have this layout of what it could be: Layer of Darkness, Trickstars, Brandish, some other rogue decks maybe popping into the fray. But it's really going to be diverse. I really believe that, more than it was before. I haven't seen such a diverse format this good probably since Hat format, or to some degree after Hat format being like the Duelist Alliance formats with, Shadows, Cosmos, Stella Knights, Necros, that. But now it's where that had some definition of the best deck formats. This is really wide open, because if I look to the OCG, I see Brandish doing 25%, 27, 30% of the meta, and I'm like, that's not even 40, that's not even 50% of the meta. There's a lot of other things, like ABC still popping up over there. We got everything for ABC. ABC could make a comeback for all I know. There's a lot of possibilities heading into this new format. It's going to be very diverse. Expect anything, just side deck accordingly. Side deck, it'll take a little bit of time to define itself, but when you're going into a national setting, I'm just going to tell you right now, be prepared to see strange stuff, because this format, I wouldn't be surprised to see weird decks topping at events, because there's really, I feel like at the moment in time, there's really no defined best deck right now. Trickstars, by default, best deck. Brandish, by default, will be probably one of the best decks, but it's not written in stone, per se, until we know more information. But till then, I'll see you guys next time. Until next time, take care. Have fun dueling. Good luck dueling. I'll see all of you guys next time. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give a big thumbs up. And thank you all for the support on this channel. I'll see you guys next time. Good luck dueling to all of you. And good luck at your regionals and nationals heading into the championship season. See you guys next time.